I came home a day early. No big reason. No grand plan. Just a flight that opened up and a gut feeling I couldn't shake. I didn't call. Didn't text. Thought it might be fun to surprise her. That word, surprise, hits different now. I walked into our house around 8 p.m. quiet. A little too quiet. No music in the kitchen, no TV glow from the living room. Just a weird stillness that settled on my skin like dust. I called out her name. Nothing. Dropped my bag in the hallway. Started upstairs. That's when I heard it. Voices. Two of them. Hers and someone else's. A man's voice. Calm. Familiar. Like he belonged. I didn't charge in. I didn't scream. I just kept walking. Slow. Steady. Every step peeling off another layer of denial I didn't know I still had. They were upstairs. Together. Not arguing. Not discussing bills. Just together. She looked up when she saw me. Froze like a deer in headlights. He turned around slowly, like maybe he thought I was the pizza guy. I didn't say much. Wow, I said. That's all. No yelling. No dramatic speech. Just that one word, flat as a hammer. Rachel opened her mouth to explain, like she had a PowerPoint ready for this exact moment. I held up my hand. Nope, I said. Not tonight. Then I turned, walked out of the house, and didn't stop until I was back in my truck. I sat there for a long time, staring at the steering wheel. Breathing in, breathing out. No tears. No panic. Just this sharp, focused quiet inside me. You ever get that? Like your brain clicks into a gear you didn't know it had? That was me. I wasn't broken. I was awake. And what I felt wasn't heartbreak. It was clarity. Cold, precise clarity. The kind that tells you, without doubt, it's over. Not just the marriage, but the pretending, the waiting, the hoping. Rachel had been off for months. The distance, the excuses, the late-night Pilates sessions that somehow ended with full makeup and no sweat. I noticed. Of course I noticed. I'm not blind. I just kept giving her space, thinking maybe we were just going through something. Turns out, we were. Just not the same something. I booked a cheap motel 10 miles outside of town. Walked in with nothing but a backpack and a head full of noise. The clerk didn't ask questions. Just handed me a key and pointed to room 107. The second I shut the door behind me, I felt it, the shift. Like something heavy had fallen off me and cracked on the floor. Not sadness. Not grief. Just weight. Gone. I sat on the edge of the bed and pulled out my phone. Opened our joint banking app. And there it was. Charges that hit different now. Boutique shopping. High-end steakhouse. A spa visit labeled wellness recovery. Rachel hadn't bought herself anything sexy for me in over a year. But apparently, someone was getting the good version of her. I laughed. Not a happy laugh. Not bitter either. Just that kind of dry, of course, laugh you let out when the pieces finally fit. Then I opened my contacts and scrolled down to Tom Reeves. Old buddy from high school, now a divorce lawyer. Me, you up? Tom, always. You okay? Me. Rachel. Another man. I walked in on it. Tom, you want to talk it out or blow it up? Me, both. But let's start with the paperwork. He called me 2 minutes later. Where are you? He asked. Motel off the highway. Good. Don't go back tonight. Freeze the accounts. Change the passwords. And Mike, get quiet. The louder they are, the quieter you get. You'll win more with silence than shouting. He was right. I didn't respond to her text that night. Just stared at the message. Please, can we talk? Sure, Rachel. We'll talk. But next time you hear from me, it won't be with words. It'll be with consequences. I didn't sleep that night. Not because I was a mess. I wasn't tossing and turning, crying into the pillow like some soap opera husband. No, I didn't sleep because my mind wouldn't shut up. It was working. Fast. Focused. Sharp, like it hadn't been in years. While Rachel was probably sitting on our couch rehearsing fake apologies, I was in a motel with peeling wallpaper, building a strategy. She had her moment. That performance upstairs, that was her peak. Everything after this, that's mine. First thing I did, locked our joint cards. Not canceled, just frozen. Enough to make her feel it. A little financial frostbite to get her attention. Then I moved half our savings into a personal account, mine. One she didn't know existed. I left the other half where it was. Let her wonder if it was a glitch or a message. Spoiler, it was a message. Next, I changed the passwords on everything I owned. Email, cloud backups, streaming accounts, even the grocery delivery app. Let her try ordering organic oat milk now. I wasn't being petty. I was taking inventory. She'd taken me for granted for so long. She stopped noticing how much I actually controlled. That was about to change. By 6 a.m., I was at a diner, sipping terrible coffee and writing in a spiral notebook. Not typing, writing. There's something about pen and paper that makes your thoughts more real. At the top of the page, I wrote the lies I ignored. Underneath, I started listing them. Girls' night. Yoga class. I'm just tired. That charge? Oh, that's for Sarah's birthday gift. It all sounds harmless when you're tired and trying to keep the peace. But now? Now it read like a script. When I'd been cast in as the fool. And then I wrote the name. Zach. Didn't know his last name. Yet. But I remembered his face. His smug little grin. That sorry bro look in his eyes like I'd walked into something I wasn't supposed to see. Trust me, Zach, I saw enough. By mid-morning, I had my laptop open and was digging. Rachel made her Instagram private last year, but guess who still had an old iPad logged into her account? Yeah, there they were. Likes, comments, fire emojis, laughing faces, hearts. One from Valentine's Day. That night she told me she was sick and just needed to sleep. Turns out, she was wide awake, just not with me. I found the gym where Zach worked. Personal trainer. Freelance. Looked like every cliche in a fitness ad, backwards hat, tank top, abs that screamed, look at me. Funny thing about egos like his? They love to tag themselves in posts. That led me to the gym schedule. Rachel said she had yoga on Thursdays. Guess what? They didn't offer yoga on Thursdays. But Zach taught core and sweat at 7 p.m. every single week. I sat back in the motel chair and let out a whistle. It didn't feel like heartbreak. It felt like putting together a puzzle you didn't even know you were working on and realizing the final picture was nothing like you thought. Final step, our phone plan. Still shared. Still synced. I logged in and searched one number, his. Found it through his gym's contact page. 162 messages in 2 weeks. Midnight. 6 a.m. lunch breaks. She didn't even try to hide it. And that was the beautiful part. They thought I wasn't looking. They thought I was too busy, too tired, too checked out. What they didn't know is that I see everything eventually. I saved every screenshot, every log, every piece of proof, labeled the folder, insurance. Not because I planned to use it right away, but because I knew the day was coming. And when it did, I wouldn't need to shout. All I'd need to do was open the file. I walked back into our house at noon the next day. No key needed. She hadn't changed the locks. Either she thought I wouldn't come back, or she assumed I'd come crawling, ready to work through it. She didn't realize that man's gone. The door creaked open like it had something to confess. Same hallway. Same framed photos. Same lavender-scented candle burning on the entry table. She always lit that one when she was cleaning to relax. Only this time, the house didn't smell clean. It smelled like guilt trying to cover its tracks. I didn't call her name. Didn't announce myself. I walked into the kitchen. There it was, my coffee mug in the sink, crusted over. Her wine glass beside it, still half full. Same shade of lipstick I saw on her the night before. I dumped it down the drain and let the glass clink hard against the basin. Then I opened the fridge, grabbed a beer, and sat at the table like I owned the place. Because I did. Still do. 10 minutes later, I heard the creak of the stairs. Soft steps. Hesitant. Like she was trying to guess what version of me she was about to meet. She stepped into the kitchen like someone walking into a courtroom. Oh, she said, surprised. You're back. Didn't know I left, I said, without looking up. She crossed her arms. Defensive. Default mode. I didn't think you'd come here. Why not? I took a sip. This is still my house, right? Her eyes flickered. Mike, can we talk? I leaned back in the chair, studying her. No. Her mouth opened. I raised a hand. Not yet. You've done plenty of talking. I'm just here for my stuff. She stepped forward. It wasn't what it looked like. Please don't finish that sentence, I said, calmly. You'll only embarrass both of us. I stood, walked past her, and headed upstairs. She followed, of course. Where are you going? To get the things that matter to me. Don't worry. I'll leave your gym bag and protein powder untouched. Her face flushed. I think it was shame. Or maybe just the heat from realizing I wasn't giving her what she wanted. A meltdown. A chance to flip the script. Our bedroom was the same. Neatly made bed, as if fluffing pillows could erase what happened in it. I grabbed a duffel bag from the closet and started packing. Laptop. Watch my dad gave me. A few clean shirts. Passport. Folder marked legal. Left the wedding photo on the nightstand. That one felt like it belonged to her now, a souvenir from a show that got canceled mid-season. Downstairs, she was waiting. "I know you're angry," she said, voice shaky. "No," I replied. "You'd like that, wouldn't you? You want me to yell, throw things, give you a story that makes you the calm one, the reasonable one, the victim of my outburst." She blinked, surprised. "But I'm not here to scream, Rachel," I continued. "I'm here to say goodbye to whatever version of you I used to believe in." "That's not fair." "Neither is cheating," I said. "But here we are." Her lip trembled. Not from sadness. From fear. Because deep down, she knew this wasn't the conversation before a fix. This was the conversation before the storm. I slung the duffel over my shoulder and stepped toward the door. She moved to stop me. "Can we please talk? Just us." I looked her dead in the eye. Calm. Measured. "You had all the time in the world to talk," I said. "Instead, you whispered to someone else." Then I opened the door, paused, and looked back at her one last time. "I'm not walking away because I'm hurt, Rachel. I'm walking away because I've finally seen you clearly." And then I left. No slamming doors. Just silence. The kind that always comes before everything breaks. Monday morning, I woke up early. Didn't need an alarm. My body was running on something stronger than caffeine focus. I wasn't angry. I wasn't bitter. I was clear. And clarity, as it turns out, is a powerful thing. First stop? The bank. I walked in like I'd done 100 times before. Same lobby. Same teller who always asked how my weekend was. "Hey, Mike," she smiled. "What can I help you with today?" "I'd like to make a few changes," I said. Calm. Casual. "Sure thing." I pulled out my ID, leaned on the counter, and said the words I'd been waiting to say. "I want to remove my wife's name from every account I opened." She looked up, just for a second. Not shocked, just registering the change. Maybe she'd seen this before. Understood. She didn't ask questions. Just typed faster. I moved every dollar from our joint checking into my personal account. Left $41.75 in there. Just enough to make her think it might have been a glitch. Or maybe a message. Spoiler, it was both. Next up, our joint savings. That one she never really looked at, because I was the one adding to it. Every bonus, every overtime check, every just-in-case deposit. Well, guess what? Just in case had arrived. I closed the account. Clean. Quiet. Done. Then came the credit cards. 2 of them, one in her name, one shared. I paid them off every month. She never had to think about it. Now, she'd have to. I canceled both. No warning. No heads up. Just gone. I pictured her at Whole Foods later that day. Cart full of kombucha and fancy olives. Card declined. Trying to smile through it like it was a mistake. Trying again. Declined. Again. Must be a system issue, she'd probably say. Nope. Just me. After that, I stopped by the post office. Filed a change of address form. From now on, anything with my name on it, bills, banks, taxes, legal, was going straight to my P.O. box. The house wasn't mine anymore. Not emotionally. It was just a building full of broken promises. Last on my list? Health insurance. Technically, I couldn't remove her until divorce papers were filed. So I filed them. My lawyer, Tom, made it official at 11:06 a.m. By 11:30, I was off the phone with HR. "Mike," the rep asked, "are you sure?" "Very." That night, she'd still feel like the house was hers. Like the bed was hers. Like life would go on, awkward, maybe, but manageable. She had no idea that while she was still spinning excuses in her head, I'd already flipped the board and walked away with all the pieces. You see, Rachel liked being married. Not to me. To my stability. The house, the truck, the safety net, it all made her feel grounded. Important. She liked the version of marriage where I worked like a machine and asked no questions. But the second it stopped serving her, she made other plans. So now I made mine. And mine were a whole lot more permanent. By noon, every login she used had changed. Every password she relied on, gone. Streaming services. Grocery apps. The utilities she didn't know I paid. All reset. All mine. That evening, I boxed up every photo of us. Every anniversary frame, every beach smile, every fake happy moment that now made my stomach turn. I didn't burn them. I just packed them carefully, labeled the box, for Rachel, past life, and set it on the porch. By 3 p.m., I got her first text. "Rachel, what the hell is going on? My card just got declined." I stared at the screen. Didn't reply. 10 minutes later. Rachel, seriously, Mike? Are you doing this on purpose? I smiled. You have no idea, I thought. 20 minutes after that. Rachel, this isn't how adults handle things. Actually, it is. It's just not the kind of adult you were expecting. You ever seen someone fall in slow motion? That was Rachel. She didn't even realize it yet. Thought all she lost was a few credit cards and some convenience. She didn't know she was standing on a floor I'd already started pulling apart, board by board, nail by nail. She thought this was a fight between husband and wife. It wasn't. This was a correction. I gave her comfort, and she gave me lies. Now it was time to adjust the balance. Her job was next. She worked part-time at an interior design studio, mostly upscale remodels and home staging. Pretty place, big windows, expensive coffee machine in the lobby. The kind of job she liked to name-drop more than she actually needed. It wasn't about money. It was about image, which made it the perfect place to hit. So I wrote a letter. Not a rant. Not revenge porn. Just facts. Simple. Cold. Verified. I didn't sign it. Didn't need to. The truth doesn't need a name. Here's what I sent. To whom it may concern. One of your team members, Rachel H., has been engaged in a personal relationship with a local fitness trainer. There are numerous social media posts, including tagged photos and public comments, linking their relationship over the past year. The concern, several of these meetings appear to have taken place using a company vehicle, off hours. In today's business climate, perception is reputation. I'm not asking for anything. Just thought you should know. Sincerely. A former client. No threats. No drama. Just a match dropped gently into a dry field. I mailed it Tuesday morning. First class. Handwritten envelope. Clean. By Thursday, she got called in. I wasn't there, but I can imagine how it went. She walks in, smile tight. Boss looks serious. Shuts the office door. Rachel, we've had some concerns brought to our attention. That's all it takes. You could see it in her eyes, that flicker of panic, followed by the performance. Innocent confusion, maybe a forced laugh, followed by denial and outrage. But people like Rachel don't know how small businesses work. Reputation is oxygen. One rumor? Maybe they survive. Two, they start gasping. Anything more? They cut the cord fast. So they offered her the graceful exit, restructuring. She didn't get fired. She got released. I got a text that afternoon. Rachel, you told my boss? I let it sit. No reply. 5 minutes later. Rachel, you're trying to ruin my life. What kind of man does this? A man you shouldn't have lied to, I thought. Another one came later that night. Rachel, you're being petty. Grow up. Petty? I gave you a life you didn't have to earn. You turned around and burned it. And now that the heat's coming back your way, I'm the petty one? No, sweetheart. I'm just returning what you set on fire. And I was only getting started. Later that night, I checked social media again. Zach had posted a new gym selfie. Big grin. No Rachel in sight. I clicked through his comments. Looked pretty quiet. So I did something small. I made a new email. Burner account. No name. Sent a short message to the gym's admin. Just a heads up, one of your trainers has been having after-hours sessions with a married woman. Rumor is, it's been happening on-site. Might be worth watching your security cameras. Thought you should know. That was it. I didn't need them to fire him. I just needed him to feel what I felt when I opened that bedroom door. Exposed. Alone. One breath away from everything collapsing. They say silence is passive. But in my experience, silence, used right, is devastating. You know what's funny? I didn't have to lift a finger after that last message. No more emails. No more letters. I just waited. And within a few days, the silence started working for me. First, it was Rachel. She'd gone from furious to soft. Not apologetic, not yet. But careful. Like someone walking across a frozen lake, listening for cracks. She sent a text the morning after she lost her job. Rachel, can we talk? Please. I didn't answer. I wasn't interested in please. I was interested in results. Then, out of nowhere, she tried again. Rachel, I don't want us to fall apart like this. Fall apart? No, sweetheart. You don't fall apart from a choice. You break what you don't value. And now you're standing in the mess you made. But the best part? She wasn't just losing her grip on me. She was losing him too. Zach. The golden boy. Mr. Just a friend. Mr. Core and Sweat at 7 p.m. The one who thought he could smile his way through anything. Gone. Disappeared like a puff of steam after a cold shower. No more posts. No likes. No fire emojis. Radio silence. At first, I thought maybe Rachel just stopped tagging him. Then I checked again. Blocked. He blocked her. Everywhere. Phone. Socials. Messaging apps. Deleted their photos. Scrubbed his timeline. Wiped it all clean. And just like that, her escape plan vanished. I smiled when I saw it. Not because I wanted her to suffer, but because now she knew. She wasn't chosen. She was used. She thought she was trading up, walking out of a hard marriage into open arms. But all she did was walk straight into a revolving door. I got confirmation 2 days later from a buddy of mine who happened to be a member at that same gym. Dude, he texted me, I think your boy just quit. Zach. Yeah. Gone. Management's been tense all week. Something about complaints and external interference. Sounded shady. I didn't even need to ask. He quit because he felt the heat. Because I whispered into the dark and the right people heard me. Because when you're built on shortcuts and attention, the smallest light can burn you down. Rachel called me that night. First time in over a week. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. Mike, please. I know I messed up. I know this isn't what you deserve. I don't know what's happening. Everything's falling apart. I just need to talk. I listened to the whole message, sitting on the edge of my buddy Jake's couch, sipping a beer. It didn't feel like victory. It felt like confirmation. The mask was off. The games were done. And for the first time, she wasn't spinning. She was sinking. I got one more text an hour later. Rachel, I just need to know, are you going to destroy everything? I stared at that one for a while. She wasn't asking if I still loved her. Wasn't even asking if I could forgive her. She was asking how much worse this was going to get. And the truth? It didn't have to get worse. But the thing about people like Rachel? They never think consequences apply until they're already knee-deep in them. And even then, they look for someone to blame. Let her wonder. Let her lose sleep. Let her walk circles in that big, cold house wondering if the next knock on the door is one more thing falling apart. Because when you gamble with someone else's trust, and you lose, you don't just lose the game. You lose your seat at the table. 3 days of silence. No texts. No missed calls. Nothing. Then, on a Wednesday afternoon, I stopped by the house to grab some tools from the garage. Just 15 minutes, in and out. That's when she pulled up. Same white SUV, same sunglasses she used to wear to brunch when she wanted the world to think everything was perfect. She stepped out like she still belonged there. But the door was already locked. She rang the bell once. Then knocked. Then pounded. Mike. Open the door. I waited. I didn't know her speed. When I finally opened it, I didn't say a word. Just stood there in the doorway, arms crossed. Her eyes were red. Probably from crying. Or trying to. What is going on? As she snapped. I said nothing. You changed the locks. Yes. You froze everything. Took the money. I did. She blinked, caught off guard by how calm I was. Mike, this isn't okay. You can't just shut me out. I didn't, I said. You walked out. I just kept the door closed. She folded her arms. This is my house too. For now. Her voice cracked. You're really doing this? No, I said. I already did. She looked around, like the neighbors might be watching. Like maybe she could salvage the optics if she just said the right thing. You're trying to punish me. No, I said again. I'm protecting myself. She softened her voice, classic Rachel move. Look, I know I messed up. I wasn't thinking straight. I got lost. But I want to fix this. I raised an eyebrow. Fix it. I repeated. With what? More lies? A counseling session and a homemade dinner. I'm serious, Mike. No, Rachel. You're scared. That's different. She stepped closer. I still love you. No, I said. You love comfort. You love control. You love the version of me that paid for everything and never asked questions. That's not true, isn't it? I asked. Where was this love when I was working 60 hours a week to pay for a house you used as a set piece in your double life? She flinched. For the first time since this started, she didn't have a comeback. I continued. You told yourself I wouldn't find out. You believed it. And when I did, you thought I'd fall apart. She tried to reach for my hand. I stepped back. You don't get to fix this, Rachel. You don't get to reframe it, or walk it back, or cry your way through it. This isn't a story you're writing. Her voice dropped to a whisper. I miss you. No, I said. You miss security. You miss the version of your life where you didn't have to face what you did. Silence. Then she pulled a folded paper from her purse, held it out to me like a peace offering. "What's this?" I asked. "Therapist's name," she said. "Couples counseling." I already booked the session. I took the paper, glanced at it, then held it out. "Let the breeze take it." "I'm not interested in therapy for a marriage you already left," I said. Tears welled up. She didn't hide them this time. "You're really going to throw it all away?" "You already did," I said. She turned to leave, but stopped halfway down the steps. "Is this really it?" I didn't answer. She turned back to me, voice trembling. "Do you still love me?" I paused, looked her dead in the eye. "I loved the woman I thought you were." Then I closed the door. Not fast. Not with a slam. Just a clean, final click. And on the other side, for the first time in weeks, I exhaled. It happened on a Friday morning. I was sitting in a coffee shop, watching the world go by, people on laptops, moms with strollers, baristas who smiled like they hadn't been lied to. It felt good. Clean. That's when Tom called. "She got served," he said. "What time?" 10 minutes ago. Signed for it personally. I didn't cheer. Didn't fist pump. I just nodded and sipped my coffee. It was done. Rachel now had the envelope in her hands. Inside, the divorce petition, the financial disclosures, and a printed copy of the prenup she signed 12 years ago, the one she called just paperwork back then. Page 4, paragraph 3. In the event of infidelity, any joint assets default to the faithful party. She never read it. Not really. She was too busy planning color themes for the wedding photos. Now she was going to read every word. I didn't have to imagine her reaction. I knew it exactly. First, confusion. Then, realization. And finally, the drop, that internal freefall when you realize you've run out of excuses and backup plans. I didn't text her. Didn't call. I went about my day like it was any other. But later that night, just after 9 p.m., I got the text I was expecting. "Rachel, we need to talk." I didn't know about the prenup. 5 minutes later. "Rachel, Mike, this is serious. I can't afford to lose everything." Then the kicker. "Rachel, I thought we were going to work through this." That last one almost made me laugh. Work through what, exactly? The lie? The silence? The guy in my house? I didn't reply, but I did drive over to the house one last time. Not to argue, just to see the look in her eyes when she realized she'd finally run out of cards to play. She opened the door before I even knocked. She looked different, smaller somehow, like the weight of everything was finally sitting on her shoulders instead of mine. "Mike," she said, soft. "I didn't know about the prenup. I swear. Not my job to remind you what you signed," I said. She stepped aside, let me in. The house looked like someone tried to stage peace. Candles. Dinner set for 2. Wine glasses. Soft music. Too little. Too late. "You still think this is fixable?" I asked. "I hoped," she whispered. "I didn't mean for any of this." "You meant every moment," I cut in. "You just didn't think I'd hold you accountable." Her eyes welled up. "I didn't know it would cost me everything." "No," I said. "You just didn't think it'd cost you." She took a shaky breath. "You can't just erase our marriage." "I'm not erasing it," I said. "I'm documenting how it ended." She moved closer. "Mike, I made a mistake." "No," I said. "You made a choice. A long series of them." She looked away. "I still love you," she said, barely above a whisper. I nodded slowly. "Maybe. But love isn't a hall pass." Silence. Then I stepped back toward the door. "You'll get the rest from my lawyer. You'll get what the law says you're owed. Not more. Not less." She looked like she wanted to scream. Or collapse. Maybe both. "You're really walking away from everything we had?" she asked. I paused. "No," I said. "I'm walking away from everything you threw away." Then I left. No door slam. No final insult. Just one last sound. Her voice behind me, breaking into a whisper I couldn't hear anymore. "Because the man who once hung on her every word, he didn't live here anymore. They say when it rains, it pours." For Rachel, it started with a drizzle. A missed call from her boss. A meeting behind a closed door. Then a quiet exit from the design studio with nothing but a half-empty box and a goodbye that no one said out loud. They called it restructuring. She knew better. By Monday, her name was off the team page. By Wednesday, her access badge stopped working. And by Friday, one of her clients reached out to me directly, not for drama, just confusion. "She's no longer with us," I said politely. "I'm sure the firm will connect you with someone new." That same Friday night, Rachel tried to call again. Then she texted, "Rachel, I know you're angry, but I'm scared, Mike. I didn't answer. She needed to sit with that fear. Let it breathe. Saturday morning, a friend of hers, one of the brunch crew, texted me out of nowhere. Just checking in. Rachel's really upset. Is there any way you two could talk? I didn't respond. Because this wasn't about one mistake. It wasn't about a conversation. This was about someone who burned the floor and now wanted me to hand her a fire extinguisher. But the flames weren't mine to put out anymore. And then came the final twist. Zach disappeared. Completely. Gone from Instagram. Gym profile wiped. Number disconnected. He didn't even tell her goodbye. She tried to cover it up, told a friend they had mutually ended things. But you could hear it in her voice. She wasn't ending anything. She got dropped? Turns out, when word spreads that you're involved with a married client and someone sends a polite, anonymous email to your gym asking about after-hours sessions, management starts asking questions. And guys like Zach? They don't fight. They run. Rachel tried to message him through a burner account. Blocked. No reply. No closure. Just absence. The man she bid it all on turned out to be nothing but noise. And when things got quiet, so did he. Her next text to me came at 11:14 p.m. that Sunday. Rachel, please. I don't know who I am anymore. And for once, she was telling the truth. She didn't know. Because everything she built, the life of control, appearances, flirtations wrapped in innocence, only worked when someone else was holding the foundation. And that someone was me. Now, she stood in the middle of it all, no job, no man, no income, no fallback. Even her parents started asking questions. Her sister called me. Mike, I'm sorry, she said. I didn't know how far this had gone. She told us it was a rough patch, nothing serious. She told a lot of stories, I said. Her sister sighed. I'm not defending her. I just wanted to say, she really messed up. She did. Are you okay? I almost said, I'm fine. But that wasn't true. I wasn't fine. I was free. The next day, her mom called. Not crying. Not angry. Just tired. Michael, she said, you've always been good to our family. I just want you to know, we're not taking her side. We didn't raise her to do this. I appreciate that, I said. I wish I could say something that would fix this. You can't, I said gently. But thank you for trying. I didn't hate Rachel, but I wasn't going to save her. She'd made her choices. Now she was living in the consequences. A hollow house. A phone full of unanswered messages. A future that looked nothing like the one she thought she could control. And me? I didn't block her. Didn't lash out. Didn't leave angry voicemails. I just left. Quiet. Clean. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't rage. It's removing yourself from the wreckage before it explodes and letting them sit in the silence they created.